What if you discovered your body is controlled by an invisible energy, known by secret elites for centuries, but hidden from you by doctors and scientists? Right now, as you're watching this, secret forces inside your body are silently draining or boosting your vital energy without you even noticing. This invisible battery decides whether you're healthy or sick, strong or weak, clear-headed or easily manipulated. Ancient initiates like Max Heindel learned forbidden techniques directly from Europe's mysterious elder brothers to tap into this hidden energy. Why isn't this taught in schools or shown in mainstream media? Because controlling this life force means controlling you.
Picture your body working like a modern smartphone. There's the hardware you can see and touch, and an internal battery that keeps everything running. The hardware represents your physical body, muscles, bones, and organs. The battery, invisible to the eye but essential for life, is what Hermetic tradition calls the vital or etheric body. In ancient Hermetic manuals, this vital body is described as ether, not the ether of old chemistry, but an extremely subtle energy field that permeates and animates all living matter. Max Heindel, the authorized messenger of the Rosicrucian order in the early 20th century, devoted extensive chapters of his magnum opus, the Rosicrucian Cosmoconception, to detailing this vital body. According to Heindel, who received these teachings directly from the elder brothers of the Rosicrucian order during his initiation in Europe, the vital body is composed of 4 distinct ethers. The chemical ether, responsible for assimilation and excretion, the life ether, which enables propagation, the light ether, which generates heat in the blood and allows sensory perception, and the reflecting ether, which is the seat of memory. It functions like your personal power plant. It pulls light from the sun through the spleen. Yes, that organ medicine still debates about its complete functions, transforms this light into usable energy and spreads it throughout the entire nervous system. It's what coordinates cellular repairs while you sleep, regulates your ability to grow and regenerate. The Rosicrucian Fellowship, founded by Heindel in 1909 in Oceanside, California, teaches that this process is so precise, it can be clairvoyantly observed by those who have developed spiritual vision through Rosicrucian exercises. What's fascinating is that this vital body is a perfect copy of the physical one, molecule for molecule, organ for organ. The difference? It's slightly larger, extending approximately 1.5 inches beyond the skin's surface, forming an invisible protective shell around the entire body. The spleen acts as the main gateway. There, raw solar energy is transformed into a rose-colored vital fluid that travels through the entire nervous system, distributing vitality exactly as electricity travels through a telegraph network. Heindel emphasized that this process can be verified by any dedicated student who follows the Rosicrucian method of spiritual development, which includes specific exercises in concentration and nightly retrospection. Without this vital current flowing properly, the human spirit, your consciousness, can't send commands to the muscles. That's exactly what happens in paralysis. The vital flow is blocked and doesn't reach the affected arm or leg. During deep sleep, much of this vital energy temporarily withdraws from the physical body, allowing metabolism to enter silent repair mode. That's why we wake up refreshed after a good night's sleep. In death, this separation process becomes permanent. An interesting phenomenon occurs during the digestion of heavy meals. We spend enormous amounts of vital fluid processing and assimilating food, incorporating it into the body's structure. During this period, the vital body's protective radiations decrease dramatically, leaving the organism much more vulnerable to germs and infections. It's no coincidence that colds and ailments appear more frequently after periods of overeating. The body simply doesn't have enough vital energy to maintain its defenses while digesting. For this reason, the Rosicrucian school has always recommended light, well-chewed meals, especially for spiritual aspirants who need to keep the vital body in optimal condition for esoteric work. You can observe this in everyday life. Spend the entire morning in a dark, closed room. Notice how your mood plummets, your energy vanishes. Now go outside and walk for a few minutes in natural light. Vigor returns almost instantly. Or compare periods of poor sleep with weeks of regular rest. It's literally your vital battery, discharging and recharging. The Mystery School teaches that our vital body is nourished by 3 distinct types of light radiation, each with a specific function. Max Heindel detailed this process with scientific precision after receiving direct instruction from the elder brothers of the Rosicrucian order. According to him, these elevated beings, who have guided humanity for centuries from their etheric temple in Central Europe, revealed that the solar ray, absorbed directly by the spirit through an energy center located in the middle of the forehead, brings mental clarity and direct spiritual illumination. It's the light of pure consciousness. The planetary rays, captured through the brain and spinal cord, work on developing intelligence, morality, and promote the gradual growth of the soul. The lunar ray, which enters mainly through the spleen, is responsible for physical growth and regeneration. Notice how plants respond differently to moon phases. They grow more vigorously during the waxing moon and flower better at full moon. This happens because they directly capture this lunar growth energy. In humans, the process is similar but more complex. Heindel, in his lectures at the Rosicrucian Fellowship headquarters at Mount Ecclesia, frequently demonstrated through detailed diagrams how these cosmic forces penetrate our subtle vehicles. Each of these rays carries within it 3 primary colors with very specific functions. In the lunar ray, which supplies our basic vital force, we find blue, which germinates and initiates processes, called the life of the Father in ancient texts; yellow, which nourishes and grows what was initiated, life of the Sun; and red, which stimulates action, movement, and energy expenditure, being especially active in reproductive processes, life of the Holy Spirit. These 3 colors work in harmony to maintain all vital processes. Rosicrucian philosophy explains that this is the practical manifestation of the Divine Trinity operating directly in our bodies, not as an abstract concept, but as a living, measurable force for those with trained vision. Modern science offers fascinating confirmations. In 2024, UCLA researchers demonstrated that exposure to morning light resets the expression of hundreds of genes in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, our central biological clock located in the hypothalamus. Light literally reprograms our cellular rhythms. It's remarkable how these discoveries validate what Heindel taught over a century ago, based on millennial Rosicrucian teachings. There's a fundamental difference between humans and animals in this aspect. The human being possesses 31 pairs of spinal nerves, attuning them to the solar month. Animals have only 28 pairs, synchronized with the lunar month. This anatomical difference explains why animals depend much more on lunar cycles and act primarily by instinct, while humans have developed individual consciousness and free will. Heindel emphasized that this anatomical difference is no accident. It represents millions of years of evolution directed by the divine hierarchs who guide each kingdom of nature. To use this knowledge practically, wake up close to sunrise whenever possible, let natural light enter your home abundantly during the day, and reserve evenings for calm activities and rest. During waxing moon phases, you'll notice that physical activities and projects demanding energy seem to yield more. In waning periods, lighter diets and rest periods are naturally easier to maintain, as the body is in cleansing and regeneration mode. The Rosicrucian Fellowship's morning exercises are specifically timed to take advantage of these cosmic tides. Synchronizing yourself with these natural rhythms keeps the vital body constantly supplied and confirms an ancient truth. We don't live on calories and physical nutrients alone, but also on light and subtle energy. Hermetic tradition reveals a fascinating principle. The vital body possesses electrical polarity opposite to that of the physical body. Max Heindel was extraordinarily clear about this point in his Rosicrucian writings, explaining that this inverted polarity is the key to understanding many mysteries of occult physiology. In women, the physical body is negative, while the vital is positive. This positive vitality results in blood production that exceeds the organism's basic needs. This excess blood must be periodically released through the menstrual cycle. In men, the opposite occurs: positive physical body and negative vital body, resulting in more balanced blood production without excess that needs to be eliminated. The Rosicrucian order teaches that this difference isn't merely biological, but represents a profound spiritual mystery related to each sex's cosmic role in human evolution. Heindel revealed that in the Atlantean mystery temples, this knowledge was guarded as one of the most sacred secrets, as understanding the differentiated initiation processes for men and women depended on it. This polarity difference explains other phenomena. The positive feminine vital body, by constantly generating more blood than necessary, also creates a greater propensity for tears, which tradition poetically calls white bleeding. It's an additional escape valve for excess vital pressure. Men with their negative vital body don't produce blood in excess quantity, making these natural relief valves unnecessary. Heindel connected this difference to women's greater natural psychic sensitivity. The excess positive vitality facilitates subtle impressions from the spiritual world. Simple medical data confirms these differences. Iron deficiency anemia is significantly more common in women, especially when diet doesn't adequately replace iron lost in the menstrual cycle. Men, producing blood only as needed, maintain more stable iron reserves throughout life. But here's the crucial point. In the same vital current that distributes energy through the body also travels the creative force, what we know as sexual energy. This is the same force that can create new life, or, when consciously directed upward through the spinal column, develop latent spiritual faculties. The Rosicrucian Fellowship possesses specific exercises for this transmutation, but Heindel always warned that they should only be practiced under direct guidance and after years of moral preparation. The ancient texts speak specifically of the dormant nerves in the cauda equina region, literally horse's tail, that bundle of nerves at the end of the spinal column. Through specific spiritual practices, these nerves can be gradually awakened, opening channels for subtler perceptions of reality. The Rosicrucian method for this development is extremely gradual and safe, based primarily on selfless service and mental purification, not on forced breathing techniques or extreme physical postures. But here comes the serious warning. Attempting this development without proper guidance from a qualified instructor often leads to mental instability or even dementia. The truly safe methods for this work are never sold in books or courses. They're always given personally, as a reward for merit demonstrated through years of moral and mental preparation. Anyone selling secret techniques for Kundalini awakening is, at best, deceived. Heindel was categorical. The true Rosicrucian order never charges for its teachings, as spiritual knowledge cannot be commercialized. The safe and natural way to work with this creative energy? Channel it into constructive expressions, art, music, deep study, and dedicated social service. This prevents dangerous accumulation and the emotional short circuit that can occur when this powerful force becomes dammed up. Simple but effective practices include sleeping well and regularly. Deep sleep allows this energy to circulate naturally. moderating stimulants like coffee and alcohol, which artificially agitate this force, and practicing deep diaphragmatic breathing, which gently distributes energy throughout the body. The nightly retrospection exercises taught by the Rosicrucian school are particularly effective for sublimating this creative energy. Beyond the vital body exists an even broader and more dynamic layer, constructed from what the ancients called astral matter. Think of it as a layer of pure sensations. It's in this desire body that neutral stimuli from the external world are transformed into the emotions that color our entire life experience. Max Heindel devoted entire chapters of the Rosicrucian cosmoconception to describing this vehicle, based on his direct experiences in the invisible worlds under the tutelage of the elder brothers. Visually, this body appears to clairvoyance as a luminous ovoid cloud, extending 16 to 20 inches beyond the physical body in all directions, above the head, below the feet, around the entire torso. Our dense body is positioned at the center of this cloud, like the yolk sits at the center of an egg. The analogy is perfect. Just as the yolk is nourished by the white, our physical body is constantly bathed and influenced by this sea of sensations and emotions. Heindel added that the ovoid shape is no accident. It represents the primordial form of manifestation, from the cosmic egg of creation myths to the human ovum. Within this ovoid, energy doesn't remain static. There are vortices in constant movement. The main vortex is located in the liver region. It's no coincidence the ancients associated this organ with emotions. From this center, a current of force constantly flows, radiating to the periphery of the astral body, then returning through other smaller whirlpools located at different points. The Rosicrucian Fellowship precisely maps these vortices, correlating them with force centers known in other traditions, but always emphasizing that direct work on them without adequate preparation is extremely dangerous. What makes this body truly unique is the extreme sensitivity of its particles. When a single particle feels something, instantly all the other billions of particles share that sensation. That's why emotions can be so overwhelming. It's not just one part of you feeling anger or joy, it's every atom of your emotional body vibrating in unison. This creates intense emotional experiences that can vary dramatically from moment to moment. Heindel compared this phenomenon to a perfectly calm lake, where a single stone creates waves that instantly reach all shores. The colors of this body constantly change according to mood and experiences, but each person always has a basic color determined by the ruling planet at the moment of birth. Mars confers a base crimson tone, indicating a more combative nature. Jupiter brings bluish tones, suggesting expansiveness and optimism. Saturn adds dark green tones, related to seriousness and depth. Rosicrucian astrology, as taught at Mount Ecclesia, uses this knowledge to guide individualized spiritual development, recognizing that each planetary temperament requires specific approaches. Have you noticed how a heated argument literally heats the skin and accelerates the pulse? This happens because the astral flow has fired up, dramatically increasing the circulation of emotional energy through the body. Modern psychosomatics confirms these effects. Altered emotional states instantly modify body chemistry. Slow, deep breathing exercises reduce cortisol levels and strengthen the immune system. Try this simple exercise: breathe deeply, counting to 4, hold for 4, release counting to 4, and keep empty for 4. Repeat for 3 minutes. You'll notice the astral body, and consequently your mood, visibly stabilize. It's a practical demonstration of how we can consciously influence this subtle body. This specific exercise is part of the basic training given to probationers of the Rosicrucian school, preparing them for more advanced work in emotional purification. Understanding that emotions literally have their own circuit, a body dedicated to processing them, changes our approach to dealing with them. Instead of suppressing with medication at the first sign of discomfort, we can work directly at this level. Expressive art allows excess emotional energy to flow creatively. Periods of silence allow the vortices to calm naturally. Sincere and open dialogue releases accumulations of tension that, if dammed up, would eventually manifest as physical diseases. The elder brothers of the Rosicrucian order have always emphasized that purification of the desire body is an indispensable prerequisite for any genuine spiritual progress. The mind constitutes the fourth vehicle of the human being, functioning as an extremely subtle film that literally shapes our perception of reality. It's important to understand that this mental body is the most recent acquisition of the human spirit in its long evolutionary journey, and this explains a lot. Max Heindel, following Rosicrucian teachings, traced the entire evolutionary history of this development through the polar, Hyperborean, Lemuric, and Atlantean epochs, showing how the mind was the last vehicle to be acquired during the final third of the Atlantean epoch. In most people who haven't yet developed the habit of ordered and consecutive thinking, the mental body appears as an incipient cloud, still forming, arranged mainly around the head region. It's not a complete and defined structure like the other bodies, but something in active construction. The Rosicrucian Fellowship teaches specific concentration exercises to accelerate this formation, always remembering that mental development without corresponding moral growth can be dangerous. For those with trained clairvoyant vision, there's a fascinating phenomenon. There exists a well-defined empty space in the center of the forehead, located just above and between the eyebrows. This space appears with the bright blue color of a gas flame, pure, intense, inviolable. This is the most refined mental substance that veils and protects the human spirit, the true ego, in the philosophical sense, not psychological. Heindel revealed that this specific point, which corresponds to the pineal gland in the physical body, is the seat of the divine spirit, the spark of God in each human being. The ancient Egyptians knew this phenomenon and called it the veil of Isis, the veil that no mortal can lift. Why? Because there lies the Holy of Holies of the body temple, the innermost sanctuary where the human spirit remains absolutely secure from any external intrusion. No outside force, no entity, no influence can penetrate this sacred space. The Rosicrucian order has always been categorical about this. No true initiate will ever attempt to violate another being's inner sanctuary, as this would violate the fundamental cosmic law of free will. It's from this protected center that our unique ability to say I emerges. And here's a profound mystery. You can speak about any person using their name, but only you yourself can say I, referring to yourself. This exclusive and non-transferable word marks the birth of self-consciousness, the moment when the spirit recognizes itself as a separate and unique entity in the universe. Heindel connected this to the biblical moment when Jehovah breathed the breath of life into man's nostrils, the birth of the self-conscious ego. The state of this mental screen directly determines the quality of our thoughts. Chaotic thinking, jumping from idea to idea without connection, leaves the screen cloudy and distorted, like trying to watch a movie on a dirty, wrinkled screen. Focused and sustained attention cleans and smooths this surface, allowing clear mental images to form. The Rosicrucian concentration exercises are specifically designed to develop this mental clarity. Neuroscience offers fascinating validation. Neuroplasticity studies have demonstrated that just 8 weeks of regular meditative practice measurably increases the thickness of the cerebral cortex in specific areas linked to attention, perception, and emotional regulation. The physical brain literally remodels itself to reflect the development of the mental body. Here's a practical and powerful exercise. Sit comfortably with your spine erect. Choose a focal point. A lit candle flame or a simple geometric symbol works well. Keep your gaze fixed but relaxed on this point for 3 minutes, gently bringing attention back whenever the mind wanders. This is the fundamental concentration exercise taught to all students of the Rosicrucian school, preparing them for deeper meditation on cosmic symbols. This seemingly simple training dramatically strengthens the mental body. A strong, focused mind then functions like a competent director. It better distributes vital energy throughout the organism, moderates the impulses of the emotional body, and coordinates all functions to work in harmony. It's the difference between an orchestra with and without a conductor. Now we can see the complete picture. You're not a single, indivisible entity, but a symphony of 4 distinct instruments. The physical body performs in the material world. The vital carries and distributes energy. The astral motivates through desires and emotions. The mind directs through thought and will. When a single instrument goes out of tune, the entire music of life fails. Max Heindel, synthesizing millennia of Rosicrucian wisdom, presented this 4-fold vision of the human being as the master key to understanding all mysteries of existence, from health and disease to the purpose of spiritual evolution. Let's understand this by contrast. Without the vital body, we'd be like minerals. We'd have physical matter interpenetrated by thought and desire, but we'd be incapable of growing, moving, or propagating. A statue can be beautiful and even inspire emotions in those who see it, but it has no life. Rosicrucian cosmogony explains that the mineral kingdom is exactly at this evolutionary stage, possessing only the dense physical body, awaiting future eons to acquire vitality. Without the desire body, we'd remain stationary like plants. We'd have life and growth, but no internal incentive for conscious movement, no emotion to propel us into action. Plants live and grow magnificently, but they don't choose where to go. According to the teachings of Mount Ecclesia, the plant kingdom possesses physical and vital bodies, but hasn't yet developed the desire vehicle that enables mobility and choice. Without the mind, we'd act by pure impulse and instinct like animals. They develop inferior mental activity only when brought into our sphere of influence, like domestic dogs and cats that seem to think, but it's induced thought, like electrical current induced in a coil by the surrounding human magnetic field. The Rosicrucian Fellowship teaches that it's our sacred responsibility to help in the evolution of animals through loving contact, preparing them to receive an individualized mind in a future incarnation of Earth. See how these 4 bodies interact in daily life. A heavy meal at night overloads the vital body, which needs to spend enormous amounts of energy to process the food. During digestion, the body consumes vital fluid in industrial quantities to literally cement the food into the body structure. This drastically lowers energetic defenses. The protective radiations that normally keep germs and negative influences away weaken dangerously. That's why the diet recommended by the Rosicrucian school has always been simple and predominantly vegetarian, especially for those engaged in intense spiritual work. Result: the astral body wakes up irritable the next morning, overreacting to small stimuli. The mind, trying to function with reduced energy supply, has difficulty focusing. That's why health improves dramatically when we avoid excess, especially at night. In disease, the process becomes even clearer. The vital body manages to specialize only small amounts of solar energy. The physical body, starving for energy, literally begins to feed on the vital body. Clairvoyants report that both bodies become progressively more transparent and attenuated in the same proportion as the visible emaciation in the physical. It's a process of mutual consumption. Heindel extensively documented these clairvoyant observations, correlating them with known medical symptoms. Prolonged emotional conflicts create another destructive pattern. Breathing locks up, reducing the flow of vital energy. The astral body, in constant agitation, sucks up all available vitality. The invariable result is physical pain. The body screams for help when the other vehicles are at war. Rosicrucian healing always addresses all four levels simultaneously, recognizing that physical symptoms frequently have roots in the higher bodies. But here's the good news. Aligning this orchestra is surprisingly simple. The daily routine recommended by the Rosicrucian order, tested for over a century by thousands of students around the world. Move your body early, even if it's just a 5-minute stretch. This awakens the physical and activates the vital circulation. Max Heindel's morning exercises include specific movements for each day of the week, aligned with planetary forces. Get sun for 10 minutes, preferably in the early morning hours. It's pure fuel for the vital body. Heindel specifically recommended exposing the nape of the neck and upper back, where important vital centers are located. Name the dominant emotion in a notebook. Don't judge, just acknowledge. I'm anxious. I feel joy. There's sadness. This calms the astral body through conscious recognition. This self-observation exercise is fundamental in the Rosicrucian method of development. Focus the mind for 3 minutes on a fixed point. It can be the breath, an image, a sound. This strengthens and clarifies the mental body. Concentration on the rose cross, the supreme symbol of the order, is particularly powerful for initiated students. Practice for a week and you'll feel the difference. The four bodies begin to cooperate instead of compete. The thesis, "You are not one, but four," stops being an esoteric curiosity and transforms into a practical manual for living. Each day becomes an opportunity to observe these four aspects, adjust what's misaligned, and harmonize the whole. The result? More mental clarity, abundant energy, emotional balance, and physical health. Not through magic formulas or secret techniques, but through simple recognition and conscious care of each of your four natures. Life's symphony plays more beautifully when all instruments are tuned. As Max Heindel always emphasized, quoting the Rosicrucian motto, "A sane mind, a soft heart, a sound body," the Trinity manifests through the four vehicles, the path of the rose blooming on the cross of matter. But here's the final secret the elder brothers have always known. Intellectually knowing these four bodies is just the first step. True mastery comes when you directly experience the reality of these subtle vehicles through regular meditative practice. It's in the quietude of meditation that the noise of the physical body quiets, the waves of the vital calm, the storms of the astral serene, and the mind finally finds its crystalline center. In this space of profound silence, you discover something extraordinary. You're not just the conductor of this orchestra of four instruments, you're also the composer of the symphony. All change begins with understanding your role as co-creator, and the only way to connect with this divine intelligence is through meditation. That's why we've developed a set of audio tools specially designed to help you access this higher state of consciousness, guiding you through the same techniques the Rosicrucian tradition has preserved for centuries. These guided meditations work specifically with each of the four bodies, progressively harmonizing them until you can directly experience the unity behind the multiplicity. To learn more and get immediate access to these transformative practices, click the link on screen or in the comments. If this video resonated with you and you felt the truth of these teachings vibrating within you, write in the comments, This made sense to me.